Hello, already. My name is Paul T. Williams, or you can call me Paul. And I'm just gonna say this is probably gonna be my final video for the year. I know it's been a while, but I felt sick. I was coughing up something, so that would be very very bad for recording. So I just figured I want to make the last video this year, just the final video of Skylanders Giants. So, we're gonna do Dragon's Peak again. Man, this still looks beautiful.
That's a long flight, but I'd fly across the universe to help my king. My name is Flavius, and I serve the great King Ramses, the greatest leader Dragon's Peak has ever known. He ruled these lands for centuries, and while he did, everything was great. Peace, harmony, you name it, until one horrible day when I convinced King Ramses to go flying with me. All I wanted to do was take him out. You know, let him stretch his wings. But when I did, that's when he came. King Ramses' horrible brother, Vathek. Oh, he is evil. A horrible dragon who always wanted to be king himself. And while Ramses was gone, Vathek sat on the dragon's throne. You see, that's where all the power is. He who sits on the dragon's throne becomes ruler of all Dragon's Peak. It's just the way things work. And with the power of the dragon's throne, Vathek is now our king and has cursed poor Ramses. And it's all my fault. Oh, brave Skylander, won't you help us? Be careful over here, my friend. I'm sure that evil Vathek's got some sneaky tricks up his sleeve.
And don't worry, I'm a giant. No biggie. Alright, so I think if I remember correctly, I haven't watched my last video, sorry. It's been a while. I think if I had to make... I think I was going to talk about what I want for like another Skylanders game or something. Alright, gotta turn back. Still... I don't know, I say the X-Pac version of this level looks pretty good. So I think, I want to talk about what I want for a 7th Skylanders game, as well as like maybe just 2 spin-offs, to be honest. All right, so we rescued the king.
Oh, goodness. You've awoken me from an evil spell, great Skylander. Thank you. Flavius brought you here, didn't he? I should have known. He may not be the brightest fire burning, but he's very loyal. My villainous brother Vathek has seized the dragon throne and all the power of Dragon's Peak. But perhaps you can stop him? I don't have much to give you in return, great Skylander, but I promise you would have my eternal gratitude.
That's fine.
I'm afraid Vathek's curse has made me far too weak to fly. But Flavius can take you where you need to go. Use the dragon horn to call him.
Got it.
But beware, my brother Vathek will have his evil minions and treacherous traps waiting for you. Go forth, brave Skylander. I must rest for now.
I think I'll talk about what 2 spin-offs idea I have first. Basically, I figured, Skylanders is both sort of like an RPG and a beat 'em up, so I'm like, what if we make a spin-off that was just dedicated to both of those?
I sure never get sick of this.
I'm pretty sure I could just fly towards there since I'm Swarm. Oh well.
Yeah, take that, you dumb. My
I think I'm going to talk for beat 'em up. My thought would be that have you guys ever played like Scott Pilgrim vs. the World or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, like any side-scrolling beat 'em up?
Yeah, take that.
Because I think that would probably work well for Skylanders. You know, you just pick your favorite character or something, then you just start wailing on stuff. You know, something like that. You know, make it pixelated.
Next Dragon Horn.
I think it could possibly work. You know, you can do like light and heavy attacks. You have a vast amount of characters that you can use. I think it'd be fun. And here's the story tablet, I believe. All right, let's hear it.
The Dragon King Ramses has his throne atop a giant rock spike known as Dragon's Peak. This place is special to dragons because whichever one of them controls its very top becomes the new king. Some fear that Vathek, an undead dragon and the king's evil brother, may one day try to steal the throne.
If I had to pick characters for this beat 'em up game, you know, possibly Sun Smash, Roller Brawl. I don't know how you would do like ranged characters like Trigger Happy. I don't know, maybe throw in a giant, maybe a Trap Master, a Swap Force member, a Supercharger. I mean, any one of the characters can be you know, sort of like in that beat 'em up game. For an RPG, and I know Ring of Heroes exists, but I think you can do so much more than Ring of Heroes, to be honest. Like, I'm talking about like an actual turn-based RPG, like around like Final Fantasy. But the one game I always go to for like great, that I think would work well with Skylanders, would probably be something like Chrono Trigger. And of course, I'm talking about like the gameplay aspect of Chrono Trigger, to be honest, not like the whole time travel aspect. So how like Chrono Trigger works is that you get like 3 party members basically. It can be it's like a select few characters basically. Out of, let's say, I want to say 7. Yeah, 7. Well, more accurately, like 6 characters, but depending on what characters are in the party at the time, they can actually do like a special, like, sort of team-up move, kind of. That would cost sort of their power points, if you will. So I figured, you know, that would kind of work well with, you know, the characters of Skylanders, to be honest. Like, who would you want as, like, your main 3 trio characters, basically? Oh. Wait a minute, I'm a giant. I could just... Never mind. Throw this. Grab the key. Oh, gotta be careful of the fire. They hurt. And, you know, you can just travel around and, you know, fight enemies in the overworld, basically. It would be turn-based, yeah, but, you know, I think, you know, RPGs are known for their stories or something. Maybe throw in a super boss in this RPG game. But yeah, just think of the team of attacks. Like maybe Igniter and Chop Chop can do like a series of sword slashes together. And no, I'm good with the hat. Ooh, Sprocket could work. Taking like 2 turns to set up her tank. And if the enemy decides to destroy it, the tank would explode onto the enemy, dealing more damage to them. Maybe Chill, someone with a shield, can guard said character while they do their setup attack. You know, maybe Hex can shield Hothead while he charges up his giant flame ball or something. You know, it'd be kind of neat to think about.
You found the next Dragon Horn.
Now, if I were to, say, make like another mainline Skylanders game, what gimmick would I want? Honestly, I don't want like another team gimmick, to be honest. One thing I do want is kind of... I want like a new portal. Like the new gimmick is gonna revolve around this new portal, basically. What would be this new gimmick? It would actually be like switching between characters, kind of.
I wish you good luck, but I know
how many characters can you switch between? I say a total of 10, because in Skylanders there are 10 elements. And the point of switching is, hypothetically speaking, imagine if I could switch between Spyro and Swarm right now. Like, one thing with Swarm is that I could do this charge attack, and then do that X attack. But while I release it, maybe I want to switch to Spyro and start like a little comet dash to follow up on the X slash move. Here's where you would find the legendary treasure, but there are no legendary treasures, so I'm just here to get the area quota. Heck, I always say Sprocket's my favorite, so what if I switch to Sprocket, set up a few turrets, then I switch to a heavy hitting character, so that way when the turrets hit, they'll hit a lot, and plus that heavy hitting character, let's say Swarm, finish off the villain, if you will. And that's just me talking about like a few characters. Like think about what you would probably do if you had tag characters on the portal, and you can switch between them at any time you want. Again, I think that is kind of like a pretty neat thing, because if you want a better visual example, I don't know if you ever saw Ben 10 using Master Control, or in this case Mega Man 11 speedruns, where they instantly switch the power of Mega Man. The one thing about this game is that I want the gimmick Skylanders to be, more useful, kind of. Well, not kind of. I want the gimmick Skylanders to be useful. Like, the Giants. Instead of just opening up the way, what if we used their strength to pick up an enemy and throw them? Maybe they can pick up a giant weapon. Trap Masters, their weapons glow in boss fights, which I guess is alright, but I'm like, why are they called Trap Masters, not like Crystal Warriors or something? So I thought, well, what if their weapons can actually capture, enemies, basically, and those enemies can act as support for your side. Or you can switch between the enemy. Alright, let's bring in Flashwing. Also switching your character would probably skip the intro animation of the Skylanders. So, you could just switch. So I wouldn't have to see that Flashwing, her summon animation, or magic moment, if you will. Heck, what if I run? Now I don't know what type of portal it would look like, but I settled on the portal's design to be in the shape of a star, since each piece of the star would kind of house like 10 Skylanders, and it would be kind of big enough if you think about it. If I had to think of the story, I haven't really thought that much into it. I'm more of a gameplay concept guy. Like, I want to make the game fun first, otherwise what's the point of the story? I mean, you can make like a good story, but if the gameplay's not there, I think it would probably just be like it would possibly just be like you're just watching a show or something. Okay, so how would switching between characters work? Honestly, we don't use the D-pad for anything in these games. All the camera angles are fixed. So with the D-pad, you can switch between the 8th character. Now for the 9th and 10 character, you could just click like the joystick and then switch to the 9th and 10th character. If it works like that. I don't know. The right stick isn't used in these games. We don't use it for a camera. Maybe that's another way you can switch between characters. Or if you have a headset, you can just say the characters' names and then you can just switch. I'm not going to include like a headset with this game. I don't, just any headset would work with a microphone.
Here you go, friend. Meet you at the next Dragon Horn.
Thank you, Flamius. Now, I guess if I want to make a story, kind of, might be a bit weird or something. What if it just takes place on Earth? What's the point of it taking place on Earth? I just want to say that maybe the Portal Masters are in trouble. Like, there's a force that wants to take the Portal Masters, since if you remember, oh, come on, sorry, my bad. If you remember from the first story scroll in the game, Portal Masters do have the ability to open up their portals through space, dimension, and time. So you think if an evil force wants to use that power to, let's say, take over something, you think they would do that? You know, you just open up a portal, then send your minions in there to take over. Once you control time, I mean, who's going to stand up against you, right? So, we as a Portal Master, I guess, need to stop them from doing that, from that to happen. Again, this is just, I would say this is more like a rough draft, to be honest. Like, I don't want it to be Chaos, you know, because how many times have we had Chaos as a villain? You know, just a sort of change of pace.
Good job, Skylander. Now let's get to the next island.
But something about the character changing gimmick I have is that it would be a good excuse to bring PvP back.
Fly like this day.
Because think about it, you have 10 Skylanders at your disposal, and you want to fight someone else with 10 Skylanders at their disposal.
Please take out that line.
So basically, what's sort of the limits? I haven't really thought of a limit of how many characters you like. Basically, if you want to use like 10 like Drobots, go right ahead. It could be like a different series variant of a character, like a Series 2 Eruptor or Series 3 Eruptor. Doesn't really matter.
You are one tough Skylander.
Anyway, this is supposed to be the fire element here, but I guess it just sort of forgot. Alright, so just gotta get this chest. I think we're almost at the end. How would superchargers work? Because their gimmick is that, well, one, vehicles, but also if you put the vehicle on the portal, it gives them a boost in attack power and HP. Okay, so I also want to change how light cores work in my game. Basically, I can imagine like sort of like a light core meter. You can fill this up by dealing damage or taking experience points. Once the meter's full, you can unleash the light core power. You know, because I want people to like experiment. Like, oh, if I use this combination of characters, I could bring down the pain. That's how I want people to view this as. Like, you know, you can do this crazy set of combos with depending on each of the characters you pick. Like if I pick you know what? Yeah, maybe in PvP you could pick up another character's giant and then throw their giant character. So imagine if Thumpback could pick up Swarm and throw him. But it would be only limited to like big stuff, you know. It would be kind of overpowered if they could pick up, let's say, Flameslinger and throw him. Alright, so I think it's Spyro's turn.
All fired up.
Swamp Force are just great as is because their gimmick is just so integral to the gameplay. Like, that's kind of what I want my gimmick to be. Like, I want it to be like part of the gameplay. What's the Skylanders gameplay? Running around and beating up stuff. You know, using your character's power. You know what I'm doing right now. also another thing about the gameplay that I wanted to focus on is you using and raising your character, kind of, your Skylander. That I really like, because that's one thing I really do like about whenever I get, when I used to get new characters all the time. I always leveled like Spyro here. What I usually do, I think back in the day when I didn't have much money, whenever I get a new character, I always put them through heroic challenges, so that way I can understand their abilities, and I always do the quests, so I can, so that way I can, again, understand their abilities. It's that focus on raising them that I like about Skylanders, or getting a new character. Like, how do they work? What can I use their powers for? Alright, Royal Crown. And I think I got every hand in the game besides the Nightmare Helmet, but I'm not doing Nightmare mode. Sorry, guys. Like you're not watching me play the entire game again. Sorry. What else can I say? Yeah, just like the crazy amount of combinations you could possibly do with like 10 characters at your disposal that you can switch between. Oh man, Sprocket, Gorilla Drilla, Rattleshake, and Rubble Rouser. They would deal so much damage if you think about it. Heck, what about this? Zook's Cactus, Hex's Bone Wall, plus Free Ranger's Tornado move. Just put a cactus right here, bone wall over there, and then Free Ranger's able to pick those enemies and start putting them into Twister. That would deal like a... I just thought of that just now. That would just deal so much goddamn damage. Oh my god, are we actually going to fight Vathic this time? Okay, here we go.
Ha! I've taken the throne, Vathic, and as you know by dragon law, that means you no longer rule Dragon's Peak. You are completely powerless.
Ah, darn it. I wish I could fight Vathic, though.
For the oldest trick in the book. Now you'll pay for betraying Ramses.
Ah, so good to be home again. Well done, Flavius. Now, sadly, what to do with my own brother? I suppose I will have to banish him.
I don't know. He makes a pretty good sketch.
Perhaps you're right. But I am curious. You could have kept the throne for yourself, and yet you did not. Why?
Because, great Ramses, there is only one true king of Dragon's Peak, and it is you. The throne will be yours until the day you decide you are done with it.
But when I do, loyal Flavius, I know exactly who will take my place. And of course, I must thank our Skylander friend most of all. Without your bravery and heroism, none of this would have been possible.
And I think that's the end of the level. Oh, also what would be probably... And I guess the end of my Let's Play, if you think about it. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. My name is Walter Williams, or you can call me Paul. And I hope to see you all again next year. Have a good day, everybody.